Okay, geographers. We got good stuff today. Today, we're going to be mapping annual precipitation totals for Southern California. And it's a few different steps that are going on here. We're going to start out with tabular data, and I've provided a lot of it to you just so we don't have to waste too much time with data entry and all that. You've already done a lot of that stuff up to this point. You'll do a little more, but the idea is we've got the tabular data. We're going to join that to some weather stations, whether cities or airports or whatever around Southern California. Then we'll turn that point data into a raster surface, a continuous raster surface, which is something that makes sense for precipitation, right? Precipitation is continuous in terms of our data, models and concepts here. It's not like precipitation begins and ends or has some kind of border to it, especially when we're talking about annual counts. Even if the precipitation is zero for an area, that's still data, right? And if it's 100 inches of precipitation in another area, that's more data. It's continuous over the area. So we're going to learn how to turn this tabular point data into something that's more realistic for the actual world. All right, and then once we get all this data, we'll go and discuss a little bit about how we present it, because that's where it gets tricky. We'll do some more of this reclassification stuff and figure out how to compare data sets from different years. It's a little trickier than it might sound at first. So we got a lot to do. So let's get started. Okay, I've got here in ArcGIS, I just called this SoCal underscore precip, my little ArcGIS map project. I brought down from Canvas I think it's just precip, a zip file in the data section of Canvas. Go ahead and download that. Unzip it, throw it in your project folder. What you'll find in there is a geodatabase with some base map stuff, some things that'll start us out here, and then this Excel table with precip totals. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead to start with. Oh, I have to do the sheet. So to start with, I'll bring in the table. Let me open this up. And so what I've done, because I'm a loving instructor, is I've given you 2019 through 2022 in here. I left 2023 blank. So haven't entered anything there. What I want you to do is fill in 2023. And what I'll have you do is map out, we'll forget about 2019. And I want to see the years 2020, 21, 22, and 23 mapped out. Okay, so I'll show you where the data are, how to find this stuff, which is something you can do either before you start doing all the GIS stuff or, kind of work through. And when you get to the point where you need the 2023 data, go from there. Okay, but this is what I've given you right here, and we have, in some cases, it's cities, Long Beach, LA downtown. Then we have airports, LAX, a few things. We've got some fire stations and UCLA. So a few different locations. But we're going to use that to join the data to an existing feature class. And that's going to be a little wacky. Within here, the stuff I filled out, I went ahead, entered all these numbers, filled this stuff out. You see Pismo Beach, it's null all the way through. There's no data. For whatever reason, it's listed on I think it's a NOAA site or National Weather Service site. Well, We'll get into it. I'll show you in a second. I don't know if they forgot to check over the last few years, if nobody's working there. I don't know, but it's just they don't have data for these locations. Or there's some places like the San Gabriel spot where they're missing a few years in here, right? So it's not going to be a complete thing, but it's going to work for what we're doing. And let me pull up. Here's the site that I use to get said data. I have the link in the assignment for in Canvas for this precipitation exercise that we're doing, so you can click on there to get to it. It's going to be the easiest way to access it. I'll probably put a link in the description of this video as well, so you can click on there. But this has all sorts of data for different spots around Southern California. And what I used was this monthly summarized data, variable precipitation, summary, sum, that there, this year range. You don't have to do this full thing, but you can just simply, let's actually do 2020 through 2025. Let's see what that looks like. And we'll go ahead and you can see that we'll start with Long Beach. And this just says Long Beach area. I don't know. I just called that Long Beach. Same thing, LA downtown. I use that. LA airport area. So some of these things is kind of broad. I'm just using these city points that we have close enough for what we're doing. Certain things in here I left out because it was redundant, like Lancaster area. And then we have I think that's Fox Field right there, an airport in Lancaster. I didn't repeat this stuff. Same thing, multiple Long Beaches and LAs and things like that. I just kept it, simple. So, and in cases like with that LA downtown, that's what I'm using, not any of the other LA. So read through there and, make sense of it. But so I think that's good. Let's hit go. Yeah, there we go. And it gives you these totals right here. The way to read this, T is trace, okay? Meaning that it technically rained a little, but not enough to measure, not even, 1/100th of an inch or whatever. So that's what T means. M is missing. Okay, so in this case, as I'm recording this, it's the beginning of 2025. So obviously we don't have future data right here. So that's what this means in this case. And there are some of these where, was it like, Santa Monica, you pull it up and it's just a bunch of M's all around and it's useless. But what you'll do, again, either do it now, you can stop the, video and just get this done and be done with it, or you can keep playing along and do this when you absolutely have to. Doesn't matter. But what you're going to do is you're going to go through and just, like with Long Beach, 2024, it was 18.92 inches, right? Let's move this down here. So you would just type that in the Excel file, or just edit it through here in ArcGIS. Whatever's easier. Be aware if you're going to open up the Excel file and just type this stuff in here, save what you got in ArcGIS, close it, and then open up Excel, because I don't know if it still does it. It probably still does. It'll put in this lock file. So it's saying that, hey, ArcGIS is using this, so you can't open the file in Excel. You can't edit it somewhere else or whatever. So I think the easiest way is just close this thing, open this up in Excel, manually enter this stuff, save that in the Excel file, open this back up. All your values should be updated in here, and you're good. Okay, so 2023, that's what you're going to be doing. Oh, that was 2020. So yeah, I'm not even making you do 2024. We're going to, just to be safe, stick with 2023. Right, so that 21.67, that's what you would type. in there. Okay? Okay, so there's that. So for now, we'll just go without this 2023 data. But what we want to do is bring in our existing feature classes and be able to join these values and actually, represent this stuff in the map. So I've got a few things for you. I've got counties underscore detail. And if I bring this in just to show you, I've got all of our California counties right here. Okay, SoCal counties, if I bring this in, I just have the counties that we're actually using here. Okay, so what I did was basically give you more than what you need, just so you have the reference, just for some project down the road or whatever. Same thing with cities in here. It's a bunch of Southern California cities, whereas the weather cities, this is the stuff that's relevant for what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that one and these county lines. It also, this is a line, whereas the SoCal counties is a polygon thing here. Might be useful for how we display things. We'll mess with that later, but I'm going to remove that. And what we want to first do, like we did last time, and what we always want to do here, is make sure that this is all projected in some kind of useful, projected coordinate system. I'm going to give this to you, and let's go to right-click and properties, and we want source spatial reference. Yeah, it's this geographic coordinate system, WGS84. It's not useful at all, right? It's geographic. This is the stuff that Esri just gives you data in. So let's go ahead and project that. And to do this, we're going to go to Analysis and Tools. And the easy way to do it is Batch Project. And we just need to do it with these two things initially. It's thinking. And if you have any issues with this, like I'll have students go through this. I got, since the last video, I had some students contact me stating that they tried the batch project thing from the last exercise, went ahead and did it. Nothing showed up. The tool worked, but the end result was useless. There was no actual data within it. I don't know what caused that for those students. It is a frustrating thing where we can be working on some of this stuff. It works just beautifully for most of the students. 9 out of the 10 students get it done. It works, and then that 10th student does the exact same thing, and there's something weird. There's some issue. When in doubt, the first move to try to fix some of these problems you might have is save what you got, shut it down, restart your computer, open it back up, see if that fixes it. Sometimes it does. Another thing, always make sure, go into project here. Where is it? Is it about? Yeah, about software update, checking for updates. Check for this stuff. Update your the version of ArcGIS Pro that you have whenever possible, because that really seems to be a big issue where not having it updated to the latest thing can lead to stuff just not working. Okay, so do that stuff. If it still doesn't work, always contact me, let me know. But chances are, like with those students, I just said, you know what, go ahead, just use the non-projected, the original stuff. We wouldn't want to do that, but without me being able to be at your computer, clicking along, seeing what's going on, kind of hard to remotely fix it. So contact me if these, kind of simple fixes don't work. We'll figure it out. Okay. We, shouldn't be stuck on this stuff for too long. Okay. So we got that. What I want to do, I'll hit the browse thing in this precip base, I'm just going to project the SoCal weather cities and the SoCal counties. And normally I would, have this stuff in UTM. That's the thing I like. The problem here is we actually span zones 10 and 11. So we're not going to do that. Let's see, output workspace. Let's put it in here. So can I just hit? Okay, so we'll do it in our actual project geodatabase to keep this stuff separated. Output coordinate system. Let's go ahead. Since we're working in California, let's do a teal Albers here. California teal Albers. We're not going to do 1927. Let's do this one. The 1983, parentheses, 2011, California, parentheses, teal Albers, parentheses, meters. There's a lot going on there. I'm going to hit OK. And the teal Albers is what the state of California officially uses for state level projects and all that. So it's a good one. Everything's going to look right. It's going to be good. It's a different datum, but it doesn't force us to do some transformation here to go from WGS 84 to NAT 83. So I'm just going to ignore it, leave it, let it make the decision. I'm going to hit run. Let's see if it works. Yeah, well, it did something. Didn't add anything. So let's go into catalog. I got my tier. I'll go ahead and remove that initial one. Bring these guys in. Gorgeous. Okay, so just enough cities to get us going here. The counties in question to help with putting in a mask and kind of bounding our raster work that we do and to give us just some kind of sense of location here. That's what we got. All right, I'm going to hit save. Okay, beautiful. Now, few things. The counties, great. We're cool with that. As far as the cities go, let me label here so we can see. We've got a bunch of stuff that's going to be useful in here. And things like, with Los Angeles, let's scoot in here. This is in the downtown area. In fact, let me go ahead, do an outline. Look at that. Look how everything lines up. In some cases, almost beautifully. In some cases, beautifully. Here, let's do, just so you can see it in here. No, I don't want that. I want, let's go labeling properties. Never want to use Tahoma, even though that looks kind of the same. I don't care. Let me do a different color. And let's do like 14 and bold. So we can really see our points here. And in fact, let's make the points, let's make those red as well, just so they stand out. Okay. So there, we can see it. Now, so Los Angeles is downtown in here. So that works beautifully for our LA downtown. We have Long Beach. Beautiful. And it's a Long Beach area. We're just going to go with, the downtown point right there. The next one is LAX, which is right here. We don't have a point for that, right? And it's because our initial data source that we're using, it's cities that we're dealing with. It's not cities and airports and things like that. So we have no LAX, okay? We do, however, one thing I grabbed here, is the city of Inglewood, which is right next door. So what we want to do is go through and set this up so that all of these things match right here. right? So we've got some editing, some maintenance and fixing to go on before we can actually do what we want to do. Okay, because remember the whole plan here is to take this table and join it to the existing feature class that we have. So it's got to match beautifully. Okay, so Long Beach, gorgeous. But actually, LA, this one here, while it's in the right spot, the name is Los Angeles. This name over here in the data table is LA downtown, right? Those have to match. So what we want to do in here is we want to actually start editing, okay? And we'll just hit modify right here. And yeah, I'm selected on that SoCal weather cities. I'm going to open up this attribute table in here. All right, and let's go ahead. Actually, where's my select? Hold on, if I select this guy, okay, my first move for my editing is I'm going to double click here and I'm going to call this LA downtown, okay, to match what I've got right there, okay, and I'm going to double check. It's LA, no periods in between L and A. It's capital LA, capital D for downtown. I want that to match perfectly. Okay, so that's important. So that one's good. Okay. The next move, let's see if I actually hit that. Hold on, if I hit move, there we go. Okay, now it's happy. I'm gonna move Inglewood just over here, somewhere in the general airport area, right? Close to the coast. Okay, I'm also, there we go, going to rename it LAX. Okay, and hit enter, and so it moves it, LAX. And again, looking at this thing, all capitals, just like that. All right, so that's what you need to do as you're going through here. Make sure everything matches beautifully. And then also move things to where they need to be. With some of this stuff, like Santa Monica, when I initially pulled it up, the points were kind of off. As long as it's in the right general area, we're okay, right? And you can see as we zoom in and out, the actual base map that we have kind of changes in here. So don't get hung up on moving these ones that already exist. But do make sure that things like we did with Inglewood, if we have to actually create something totally new, move this stuff around. All right, so here's what needs to be adjusted. I have a list of things. So we changed the LA downtown. Beautiful. We changed Inglewood into LAX. Beverly Hills, so we see on the screen here, turn that into UCLA. Okay. Let's see. And that, more or less, you can move it over a little bit. But it's kind of in a close area. UCLA, here, let me zoom in. The VA, there we go. Right. So move it over a skosh right there. Hidden Hills, we don't have, but we do have Woodland Hills. Go ahead and just, swap that one out right there. And, make sure it's in the right general area. So go ahead and use this underlying base map for now to make these changes. These guys out here should be good. Although always just double check stuff. Paso Robles, we don't have anything for. Here, I'm gonna hit save. Yeah, save my edits thus far. We got those guys. Oh, come on. No, don't. Sorry, my thing is lagging. Yeah, so we need to put Paso Robles out here on the coast. So what you can do, I don't have an existing one, but you can go ahead and copy and paste one of these existing guys. All right, so I should be able to Control C, Control V. Okay, so just hitting Control and C at the same time. And then Control V. Here, let me move this guy a little out of the way. Come here. Yes. Yes. So I've got 2 of those, right? So you can figure out where's Paso Robles, change the name right there, move it to that location, and you're good. Okay, so we need to do that one. And then you also need to create some new points. We have this new Quayama, I guess. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it. Need to track this guy down. And then also Sandberg right here. We need to track that down. And it's a case where what I would do to find this stuff, if I don't know, is I would simply Google these things, try to get a sense of where they are. That's a lot of, your GIS data work and entry work and all of that is just when in doubt, start Googling, start looking for these things to figure out where they are. Now, this new Quayama, it's over here near Taft in the Carrizo Plain. Somewhere, I think, is it along here we go. Right here. Okay, so there's the location. I'm going to help you out with some of this stuff. Sandberg. Where it was somewhere over here. Yeah, right here along this old ridge route before we had the 5 running through. So this is the location there. And so what you can do is, copy and paste. You could also hit create. Make sure you're creating in the SoCal weather cities. And you could just put that point right there. All right. And over here, it's going to be null. I can just do Sandberg like that. Was it sand? Yeah, it is Sandberg. And then hit save and move on to the next one or whatever. Okay, so different ways we can create these things. But again, here's your list of stuff I want you to change or make or whatever. Change LA or Los Angeles to LA downtown. Change Inglewood into LAX. Beverly Hills into UCLA. Hidden Hills into Woodland Hills. We need to create new ones for Paso Robles, Sandberg, and New Quayama. And then once you've got that, make sure you save all of these things, just little check boxes and save here, yes, save, edits, and so on. Once you get all that done, we're ready to move on and start joining and actually doing this raster data creation that we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to stop the video here, go through, make these changes, and remember, the main idea of all of this is we want our SoCal weather cities under the name category to match the location field in the precipitation table. Okay, so that's the ultimate goal right here. So go ahead and do that. Once you're set, in fact, while you're at it, might as well go in, update this precipitation 2023 stuff, and start the new video, the next one in the series, and we'll get moving with the other stuff. Okay? All right, you can do it. I believe in you.